Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a while. My name is Savannah, and I am ready to give you my updated 2026 Oscar predictions. Sorry if my lighting is all weird. I just got a new computer. I'm setting things up. I'm trying to make things a little more nice in here. I'm kind of going through some growing pains with my setup. So just a reminder, today is going to be above the line only. If you are curious about what I have predicted for the below the line categories, you can follow me on the Award Expert app. My name is just Savannah Dawn, if you're curious at all. We have some things around the corner, like I think the Critics' Choice nominations, Indie Spirits, Golden Globes perhaps. They're all like in the early December time. So I'm really ready to give my final predictions before the season kicks off. One thing to note is I am just a girl living in Japan. I'm not in the industry. I'm just someone who likes movies. So when you're looking at my predictions and you're probably going to be like, what the hell are you doing? I'm going with my gut. I'm going with my feeling. I'm kind of hope-dicting here. I don't want to do any things that don't make complete sense, but I also don't want to just do what everyone else is doing. So I'm trying to make my picks my own and hopefully giving good reasons as to why I have picked those. So, when you want to make fun of me for it all, just keep that in mind. Without further ado, let's just get started. So here is what I have nominated for Best Picture. As you can see, I have some that are kind of the obvious staples at this point, and then a few little swings that I am taking. I think, like most people, the first 4 or 5 are pretty solidified. I think the bottom 7, 8, 9, 10 seems to be pretty much like a free-for-all. It really varies upon the person. There's a combination of certain movies. There's definitely one in here that I'm sure you are just like, Savannah, what the hell are you doing? You're so dumb. But maybe I'm right. So basically what I have here for Best Picture, I think definitely the safest bet to have for Best Picture is going to be One Battle After Another. I think this is the front runner, of course. It is huge. It's so popular. It's critically acclaimed. It's not really a box office success, but it is a really popular movie and a lot of people really like it. I didn't talk about it on the channel, but I did actually go and see One Battle After Another. And I have to say, I'm ready for the internet to hate me. But it's okay. It was fine. It was fine, but I just don't really see what everyone else is seeing in this movie, and I desperately wish that I could. If you're curious a little bit more of my thoughts, you can follow my Letterboxd. I have a little entry there talking about it. But yeah, so maybe my midness on One Battle After Another is kind of coloring my predictions for this thing. Probably. I think whether or not you like the movie or not, it's pretty clear that One Battle After Another is going to be here. I do think it is a lock for Best Picture. Number 2, and as you may have noticed, number 2, the one that I have winning Best Picture. What? Sinners is going to take it. I really do. To me, this is the movie of the year. Thinking about it, rewatching it, I genuinely love this movie and I think it is so great. I love everything about it. The craftsmanship, the soundtrack, the vampires. It was made for people like me. People are sleeping on it. I think with the hype of Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, some other things, people are kind of forgetting Sinners. That's a mistake. I think we're underestimating Sinners and we're overestimating other things like One Battle After Another. I don't think One Battle is going to get nothing, but I do think Sinners is going to steal the Best Picture slot. So I think Sinners is a lock for Best Picture, and I actually still think Sinners is going to be taking Best Picture. For my number 3, I do think Hamnet is pretty solidly in there. I have not seen Hamnet yet, and I really, really want to. But from what I've heard, it seems like it's a really great movie. I don't see any reason why to doubt Hamnet would be in Best Picture, so I have it in there safely. I think Wicked for Good is a lock. I mean, right now there's no reviews. It's just the early social media reactions, which are obviously going to be positive. Hey guys, it's Editing Savannah here, and I just wanted to let you know that I did film this video before the reviews came out. So this is already a little bit outdated. However, I do want to say that I'm trying not to be super reactionary. I would say that I'm not sure if Wicked for Good is a lock anymore, but I do think that it's a little bit reactionary to take it out of Best Picture. So I'm going to keep it in here, but I would say that I would move it up to slots 6 or 7 maybe, but I wouldn't completely take it out. So keep that in mind when I talk about Wicked, that this was filmed before all the reviews came out. So yeah. However, I think last year we thought Wicked Wicked was not going to be anything, and then it was. And I think this year it's kind of the same thing. And you know me, I'm not a Wicked fan. But yeah, I think Wicked for Good is definitely going to be in Best Picture. I don't doubt that at all. For my number 5 choice in here, I think I have Sentimental Value because I feel more strongly that the other 4 are going to get in Best Picture. So that's why Sentimental Value is at number 5. But I do think it's going to get in Best Picture. No doubt about that. It's been around all season. It's got really popular acting plays. It's supposed to be really good. I've only seen one battle in Sinners out of the ones that we've talked about so far. I don't see a reason to doubt Sentimental Value. The value of Sentimental Value has seemed to go down, but I mean, like a lot of people, I'm putting it in there. For my number 6 slot, I think it's going to go to Marty Supreme. I think that's going to be a fairly popular, crowd-pleasing movie. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be Timothy. It's going to be an adventure movie. And I think it's probably pretty well received at this point. I haven't looked too much into it. So I do think Marty Supreme is going to get in. I feel it in my gut. So after Marty Supreme, now this is the kind of area where it gets a little bit more exciting. And I think in a lot of people's lists, it kind of differs. Some people have the same things. It's kind of where the things variate the most. For my list, and you'll notice that there's a big one missing out of here, I think that 2 Neon movies are going to get in, and I think 2 international movies are going to get in. And we all know Neon swooped and took all of the international movies this year. I don't think 3 Neon movies are going to get in Best Picture. And I know that the consensus seems to be that It Was Just an Accident is going to get into Best Picture because like it won the Palm. They're really campaigning Jafar Panahi, I believe. In my gut, I have to go with my feeling. If it was not for the Palm, like I have not seen It Was Just an Accident, and I'm sure it's a great movie and I'm really looking forward to watching it. But I do feel that if it was not for the Palm, I don't think that we would think this is a Best Picture movie. Does that make sense? So I'm going with my gut that I've had all season that it's No Other Choice. I think that one is going to be the second Neon film. That is going to be the other international movie in the Best Picture lineup. This one is going to be like a very popular film to watch. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't even seen No Other Choice. I haven't seen It Was Just an Accident, but my impression is that it's crazy, it's zany, it's kooky, it's Park Chan-wook, but it's more maybe accessible than It Was Just an Accident. But I have no idea. That's pure conjecture. If you've seen any of these 2 films, please let me know. But yeah, so I think that It Was Just an Accident will not make it into Best Picture. I'm not going to talk about Best International Feature, but I do have it in there. I do think it will get into International Feature. I think No Other Choice is going to go into Best Picture for the second Neon pick. I think after that, and I have watched this one because it came out on Netflix, I did watch Frankenstein, and I do think Frankenstein is going to make it into picture. I do believe that the Academy does love Guillermo del Toro. I don't see why this wouldn't make it in. It's a pretty popular movie. The public reception is pretty good. I think it's only been getting a little better and better. For the bottom half of the 10, I think it fits in there perfectly fine. Like it's going to get a bunch of tech nominations, I imagine. So it's just going to get kind of thrown into the bottom 5 of Best Picture. For number 9 and 10, this is where I'm going to lose people. I absolutely know it. So for number 9, I am doing The Testament of Anne Lee. I do think that from what I've heard, this is a very polarizing film. People either really like it or they just really don't care for it. But I don't think that that's going to really detract its chances from being in the bottom 5. I do think it's a bottom 5 player. I think like it's going to be grand enough and it's going to be popular enough that it's going to make it in. Think again with these bottom 5 movies, they don't have to be the best of the best, right? Because if they were, then they wouldn't be in the bottom 5. It's going to have the passion enough. So for number 9, I have The Testament of Anne Lee. And for number 10, my big swing, the swing that I am taking, because so many people I see making their lists, I'm watching them and they are playing with it. They're dancing with it. They're toying with this idea of putting weapons into Best Picture. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Now, I know this is like a hope diction. I loved Weapons. I love horror. And if there's any like chance a horror movie can make it into Best Picture, I'm gonna put it in there. Yeah, it's a hope diction, but it's got a lot of passion behind it, right? There's a whole Amy Madigan play. I think there's a chance for it to get original screenplay, spoiler alert. I don't know. I think that it was a box office success. Like it was a summer hit. So I don't know. There's these factors around it that kind of make me think that yes, yes, it is a horror movie. Maybe with Last Year in the Substance and like Get Out and stuff being somewhat recent, maybe the Academy is ready, right? Maybe it's ready to start recognizing horror a little bit more. And I know this is like pure denial and they're gonna snub it all the horror. And then I'm never gonna predict another horror movie again. Or I probably still will because honestly, like, you know, I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm gonna go with Weapons because I felt like I had to choose between Sorry Baby and Weapons for like this kind of like swing of a prediction. And as it went on, I just kind of felt more that Weapons fit the bill because of like the potentials. So for my number 10, I am throwing in there Weapons. Maybe it can do it. Maybe. So these are my predictions for Best Picture. Again, with Sinners winning. I do want to mention the ones that are kind of laying outside my top 10. Of course, It Was Just an Accident is creeping around there because if I'm wrong about No Other Choice, I definitely think It Was Just an Accident is going to get in there. Avatar, Fire and Ash, I do think could, but I kind of like wonder where the buck is going to stop with the Avatar movies. And I'm kind of thinking since this one came out so recently than the last one, that maybe this is where it stops and it'll get the tech nominations, but it won't get the Best Picture nominations. I don't know. I've never seen the Avatar movies. I do think The Secret Agent could be another neon movie to watch out for, another international player to watch out for, definitely, especially with the potential of Wagner Moura getting nominated. I don't personally believe in Begonia, but I do think that it's worth mentioning that it could be sitting outside there. And also Jay Kelly. I mean, I don't believe in Jay Kelly at all for a Best Picture nomination, but it's worth mentioning that it's still lingering in the conversation somewhere. I feel much more confident about the other ones. Yes, I do feel more confident about Weapons than the rest of these ones. These are my predictions for the Best Picture nomination. All right, in alphabetical order for Best Director, first I have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. I think she will get in. I think in recent years they have been trying to nominate a female director. I do think because she's such a recent Oscar winner, I think it actually hurts her chances to win again. So I do think she makes the nomination. However, she does not win. And this whole video is about me making some swings, and that's okay because it makes it a little bit interesting. I am predicting that this year is going to be wild. I think like the past 2 or 3 years, we have had sweeps, right? Like, so we have had sweeps for Best Picture, Best Director, and then usually like an acting nomination comes along with it, and then some other stuff. But I think this year is the year where that breaks. I have Jafar Panahi getting in for Best Director because I do think another international director is going to sneak in here. But I do think they're going to snub Park Chan-wook. I don't know why, but I feel it because they're really, really campaigning Jafar Panahi. So I feel like I believe more in him than the movie. I don't know. So that's my prediction. I think Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value will be the other international director here. I do think Paul Thomas Anderson is going to win Best Director. I think they're going to want to honor him, and I think this is how they're going to do it. Because I do think people, I mean, I'm probably wrong, but I do think people are overestimating One Battle After Another. I mean, to other people, it's a great movie. It's very popular and they want to give him his flowers, that's for sure. So they're going to give him Best Director, but then Sinners is going to come in and sneak and take the Best Picture and everyone is going to be shocked. It's going to be like La La Land, Moonlight, except yeah, Sinners is winning and they're not going to mix it up probably, but yeah. So I think that Sinners is going to take the picture and Paul Thomas Anderson is going to take the Best Director. I am not in this weird train that all of a sudden started where everyone thinks Ryan Coogler is going to get snubbed. I just don't think so. I don't think so. Do I think the director's branch is cool enough to not to make him win? No, but I don't think it's a snub. I actually think that the snub this season is going to be Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. So I think a lot of people think that Josh Safdie will get into Best Director for Marty Supreme. I have this feeling he's going to show up in a bunch of precursors and then come nomination morning, Jafar Panahi shows up and Josh Safdie is not here. That's my prediction. I don't know. That's my little theory. I don't want to live in a world where Ryan Coogler is snubbed because I loved Sinners. Like that's my movie of the year. I think that this is going to be our lineup with Paul Thomas Anderson winning the Oscar for Best Director. Again, some other ones to look out for just to mention. I do think Park Chan-wook should be on an outlier there because his film is going to make it into the Best Picture lineup, I think. And I think that they want to nominate some international directors. So maybe you could swap out Park Chan-wook for Jafar Panahi rookie. I think Josh Safdie still is someone to look out for. And then I do think Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein could also like sneak in there as a surprise because they really like him or something. So maybe that's something to be on the radar for. So those are kind of my outlying picks for Best Director. For Best Actress, of course, number one, I definitely am on the train that Jessie Buckley is going to win. I'm not sure if it's going to be a total sweep this season. It definitely could be, given from what I've heard about the movie, but I'm not sure. I think after Jessie Buckley, the next person to give her a run for her money is actually going to be Amanda Seyfried. I think that The Testament and Lee is going to be a little more popular than people realize, especially in the Best Actress department. I do think that because she is a very popular actress who has not been given her flowers, so to speak, maybe she will stand a chance to kind of put up some competition with that. For my number three, out of everyone, actually, it's going to be Cynthia Erivo. Like, I'm feeling the power of Wicked rising and the power of Sentimental Value falling. Like, I definitely think after Cynthia, Renate Reinsve is going to get nominated for sure, but her chances of winning, I'm not sure. I kind of might see a world where Cynthia wins over Renate. So I'm kind of have Cynthia above her. I'm not quite sure those two could kind of flip around. I know a lot of people got Emma Stone for Begonia in there, and you should watch out for her because I think that there's definitely a chance she gets nominated. However, I'm still, and I said it in one of my last two videos, I'm on the Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs I'd Kick You train. I think it's gonna get in there. I try to have some nominations that are not in Best Picture films, and because sometimes that happens quite a bit, right? So I think Rose Byrne will get it in. It's the little indie that could, Paul Mescal and After Sun type thing. So I think Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You is going to get in there to round out the five, with ultimately Jessie Buckley winning the award. Some actresses that are hanging out in my peripheral are definitely Emma Stone for Begonia. Definitely want to watch out for her, but I just wonder if, since it's been so recent for her last win, maybe it's a little too soon. I don't know, and I'm not sure how strong I believe in Begonia. She's still definitely a force to be looking out for. Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love, I do wonder if we should pay a little more attention to that one. And then the Kate Hudson Song Sung Blue, just because of the prestige actress coming back, a la Julia Roberts, except After the Hunt was a total dud, apparently. I haven't watched it. So I think Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, depending on how that movie is received, could be something to watch out for here. For Best Actor, for my number one, I definitely think Timmy is going to take it at the end of the day. They're like, Timmy, we're just going to give you your freaking Oscar, for God's sakes. Here, take it and we'll be done with it. Well, I'm sure he might get many more nominations in his lifetime. I think Timothée Chalamet is going to win for Marty Supreme. Like, it seems like a role that she would win for, like a character study type thing. So I think Timothy is number one there. For number two, I have Leonardo DiCaprio because the movie is so strong. And if I'm wrong and it sweeps and an acting award comes along with it, this very well could be the acting award that comes along with it. I actually have a different theory. The person that is going to give Timothée Chalamet a run for his money this season is not going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's going to be Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. I think that he is someone to watch out for based on what I've heard about the movie and his performance. He is a popular actor who I believe was I didn't watch First Reformed, but I know that a lot of people truly believe that he was snubbed from this movie. So maybe it's gonna make up for that. So I think that Leonardo, Timothy, Ethan, I feel pretty confident about that. Michael B. Jordan, again, because Sinners is, I think, winning Best Picture. I do think some acting nominations have to come along with it. I just don't know if it's going to be winning any of those. Putting Michael in, I think he should get in. And my last one is going to be Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. I think that based on all the other choices, he seems to be the strongest contender who is rising, who's very popular. He's in a very well-received film. And also he's not in a film that I think will get in Best Picture. And I actually kind of like having a non-Best Picture nominee in there. So we've got Ethan, Leonardo, Michael, Timothy, Wagner, all rounding out the five, with Timothy taking the Oscar. I know it kind of seems DOA, but Jeremy Allen White, I do think you should still kind of keep him a little bit on the cusp. Maybe George Clooney for Jay Kelly if that movie does prove to be anything. And then I also actually think if no other choice is something, Lee Byung-hun, I believe his name is, should be someone to watch out for too, because I've heard his performance is really good. If no other choice pans out, then I would be watching out for him as well. Best Supporting Actress. Now this is one of the more interesting ones to talk about. This one is definitely super divisive, and I see a lot of different combinations of things going on here. So this is my combination. A lot of people are gonna think I'm crazy, I know, but I must stick to my gut. However, you people, you Wicked fans should be happy because look who is now in my lineup. She's in. I couldn't deny it any longer, honestly. I really couldn't. In my Best Supporting Actress lineup, I have Amy Madigan as number 1, and I have her winning. I do have her winning. I think that this is the best supporting performance of the year. Granted, I have not seen Wicked Part 2 and Sentimental Value, but I think that this, or Marty Supreme, but I think that this is my favorite supporting performance of the year. This is like the passion, the one that I really feel strongly about. It would be the most fun, I think, to be honest. I really like the idea of this. I love Amy Madigan in Weapons, and so I would totally support this, and I am totally rooting for it. And if she's getting it a Best Picture, maybe Amy Madigan, Weapons in a Best Picture, maybe a makeup nomination, but maybe people are underestimating Weapons because it's a horror movie, which they should statistically. I'm gonna root for Amy Madigan, number 1. Number 2 is definitely Ariana Grande. I think she is definitely in contention to win this Oscar. As the season has played out, it has fully cemented that I do think Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are going to get in again, but whether they win is really the question, and I'm really not sure if they're going to win. That would be pretty huge. I think she has a strong case. I really do. She does have a strong case to win Best Picture here. Best Picture. For my number 3, I think that will go to Tiana Taylor because One Battle is very strong. I think just having acting nominations coming along with it is very likely. Tiana Taylor seems to be the favorite of that movie, so I definitely think that she will get in for that. My favorite supporting performance, honestly, supporting actress, I would personally go with Regina Hall. It's such a small performance, but I really enjoyed it based on the buzz and everything. I really feel like more of it is supporting Tiana Taylor. After that is Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. I think that Inga Ipsdottir Lillias will get a lot of precursor nominations. Like, I think she would probably get the BAFTA and stuff, but I do wonder if she ultimately will miss the Oscar because looking besides Amy Madigan, Ariana, Elle, Tiana, there's like a lot of younger actors here. Elle gets in for Sentimental Value, but instead of Inga, Gwyneth Paltrow for Marty Supreme gets in as one of those like prestige. I kind of am predicting that maybe everyone will think Inga will make it in, but ultimately it will go to someone else. Based on what I've heard, I hope Inga gets in. I've heard that she has a really good performance in the movie, but I think that Elle is the more common name. It's the one people know. These are my best supporting actresses. Inga Ipsdottir Lillias, I think she's someone to look out for. I think Odessa Azion for Marty Supreme also should be someone to look out for based on from what I've heard about her in the movie. I'm also going to say Wunmi Mosaku from Sinners should be someone to kind of watch out for because if Sinners is popular or as popular as I think it's going to be, there could be a chance that some of these like supporting performances, some of these acting performances could go along with it. This is kind of what I have going on for Best Supporting Actress, and I have Amy Madigan taking it home for Weapons. So we'll see if that happens. For Best Supporting Actor, I think that Stellan Skarsgård, ultimately, I think there's going to be a lot of good competition here for him, but I think he will take it home. He is a popular actor who has been a lot of things. He's the Nepo daddy. I think that ultimately they're going to be like, here you go, Stellan, you've done great work all this time. Here is your award and here is your recognition. I think a close number 2. Honestly, like it's really hard. I would say out of all of the performances in One Battle After Another, Sean Penn really gave such a strong performance. Like I almost had him winning over Stellan because that's how strong of a performance I thought it was. Sean Penn, I believe, has won a few Oscars already, so maybe that will go to Stellan's favor. So I think Sean Penn is a strong contender here, as well as Paul Mescal. Paul Mescal was previously nominated as well, but Stellan has not even received a nomination, and he has been in so many movies. He has been everywhere. He is in Pirates of the Caribbean. He is in Deep Blue Sea. He's He's prestige. He's prestige. I think number 4 is going to go to Delroy Lindo. I think, again, Sinners is going to take more acting nominations than people realize. I know I'm kind of going crazy over the weapons and the Sinners. Yeah, I think Delroy Lindo, he's going to get it. And then finally, I actually think Jacob Elordi is going to sneak in for Frankenstein. I think he gave a really good performance in that movie, way better than I imagined it was going to be. And I think that it's going to be kind of like a touching performance that a lot of people are going to feel really passionate about. So he is going to sneak into the lineup for Best Supporting Actor. You should keep an eye out for Adam Sandler, the Sandman. I think there is potential that he could get in here for Jake Kelly, maybe along with George Clooney. I do wonder if Benicio del Toro is going to get in, so he's someone to also look out for. As a surprise, maybe Miles Caton. I think that, maybe he's too much of a newcomer to get in. I feel like I never mentioned, but Chase Infinity with Best Lead Actress. People really loved her performance, but I do wonder if it's like just a little bit too much of a newcomer to get into Best Lead Actress. But even for Best Supporting Actor, Miles Caton, maybe he'll get a couple precursors, but ultimately will not get the Oscar nom. But he did a really good job, so he would be totally deserving of Best Supporting Actor. So I think that will go to Delroy Lindo. So this is my Best Supporting Actor lineup. So I think Stellan Skarsgård, he's gonna take it home. Congratulations, you've won the Oscar. For Best Original Screenplay, I think that it's going to go to some of our Best Picture nominees, which is Weapons, Sinners, Sentimental Value, and Marty Supreme, with Sinners being the winner here. It's taking Best Picture too. And then I also think It Was Just an Accident is going to sneak in here as well. I definitely think that this is going to be a very popular movie among the Academy. However, I just don't know if it's going to quite make it into Best Picture, but I think it's going to get the director nomination, the screenplay nomination, and I think it's going to get the international feature nomination. That is my prediction for Best Original Screenplay. Pretty simple, clear cut there. Maybe something to look out for. I think Sorry Baby could still be on the table. I don't know. Maybe it's even just a hope diction that it's like hovering or it's still in the conversation, but I do think Sorry Baby, I don't know, it would be really awesome to see it here. Jay Kelly perhaps could be a potential thing to watch out for, or maybe even The Testament of Anne Lee, maybe if that's a little bit stronger than we realize. For Best Adapted Screenplay, I do think, again, we're going to have our Best Picture ones, Frankenstein, Hamnet, No Other Choice, and One Battle After Another. I think One Battle After Another will win because I do think the season is going to be Sinners versus One Battle After Another. And in the end, Warner Brothers wins. I think that Sinners and One Battle After Another are going to duke it out. They're each going to win their own screenplays. One takes director and one takes picture. I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know. I do think Begonia will sneak in. Still, I have had this belief before in my other predictions. I still believe it that it's going to sneak in for the Best Adapted Screenplay. So these are my choices. I think you definitely should watch out for Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out mystery, because the previous two ones have made it in. But again, where does the buck stop, Because if they're going to make more of these movies, are they all going to get in? I don't know. So I think for Best Adapted Screenplay, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, No Other Choice, One Battle After Another winning that prize. So yeah, these are all my above the line predictions for the Oscars before we get into the precursors. So the precursors are going to start in early December. We're going to have like the Critics' Choice. We're going to have the Golden Globes, Indie Spirits, but I mean, it is what it is. I wanted to kind of get one more prediction video out before any of the precursors started happening. But of course, as they go on, I will try to keep giving more predictions as they come out. I will try to do like some reaction videos maybe to like the nominations when they're announced, depending on how it goes with time zones and everything. So be on the lookout for that. If there's any other Oscar related content you would love to see, please let me know. What have you predicted? What do you think about Weapons? Where will Weapons be? Is it in your predictions? Is it just me? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. If you like the video, again, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube things. That helps me out so much and I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me again today, and I will catch you in another one. Bye-bye.